Hi, welcome to this free little tester podcast. Another one, just out of the goodness of our hearts. Do you know what I mean?
Guys, we're good guys.
Just free. Just listen to that, enjoy it. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And of course, Karl Pilkington. We've just recorded the first of our new series of audiobooks, which will be a guide to a plethora of academic subjects. The first one was on medicine, which is fantastic, so look forward to that in 2009. But what about a free sample first, Steve?
By all means, yeah, people can get a sense of exactly what they can expect.
Now, of course, medicine is the art or science of healing, and that doesn't always have to be a drug or a surgery. I mean, bedside manner has a lot to do with things, and also it's all about care as well. We mustn't just forget that some people don't need medicine, they just need help. For example, there are people that help disabled people have intercourse where they can't, maybe get on to the woman herself, and there's someone that actually helps the man put in his penis to the woman's vagina. They leave the room.
No.
What?
I've never even heard of this.
It's true, absolutely true. They're
Steve?
helpers.
Yeah, no, I believe that is the case.
Yeah. And that's just as needed as anything that might cure
Well,
their own.
it's not. That's pleasure.
Yeah, so what are you saying, because you can't walk or move, that you can't love someone and want to share that love?
I'm just saying it's not a priority.
Well, no, but they're going to live. They're healthy apart from their disability. I've met someone, they want to consummate this love, and someone is helps them out and goes, well, that's part of my job.
No, it's not part of the job.
Well, it is part of this job because that's their job.
I have never heard anyone say, I've had a right day today.
Why?
I've been playing with Arthur's tackle all day.
They don't play with Arthur's tackle. They pop Arthur's tackle in Hilda's vagina.
I don't think they do.
They do.
How can they enjoy that? I mean, maybe once, and they'd go, that didn't work, did it? I didn't enjoy that, Hilda.
No.
How can they enjoy it with a nurse stood there?
They don't.
Do that?
No, they help her in. She helps Arthur in, or he might be a male nurse. Pops Arthur in. Goes, okay, Arthur. I'll see you in a few minutes. Right. Goes outside.
But what's the point, though, in that?
Why?
Because it's all about the mood and everything. He's just stuck onto like a stag beetle clinging onto a leaf. There's no enjoyment in that.
Oh, the well-known stag beetle copulating with a leaf syndrome.
No, but I'm
That's
just
the
saying.
well-known position in the Kama Sutra.
I'm just saying.
He knows it. I think it's a lovely act, and someone's willing to. Wouldn't you help someone
Definitely
in?
not.
No.
Definitely
What? No. Look, there's a guy who goes, oh, this is my wife. We're both say, well, I can't. Can you just pop me in, Carl? You're the only. You're the only person around.
No, I don't think it's important
But there
enough.
are people.
What do you mean you don't think it's important enough?
I'd be happy to go round, put the washing on for them, make the bed. Do you want a cup of tea? Yeah, I'd love one. There you go. Oh, just before you go, forget it. If they asked me to do that, I'd quit. And I don't think it happens, because people wouldn't take that on for a job. You never hear about it on Comic Relief when they're raising money. They don't go, thanks to Midland Bank for this £100. That's going to go towards Arthur getting his end away.
That's ridiculous. So you would rather them not have the pleasure of each other than just help them in?
No, because they'd work out some way that they could do something for each other. I want to play the guitar. My fingers aren't long enough. I've knocked it on the head. It's the same thing. If you can't do it, don't do it.
So are you telling me, right? Okay. Supposing there's a little fella who's got no arms, no legs, right?
Right.
Little Bob. Okay. There he is. All right, Carl. Right. He's got a friend, another little fella with no arms and no legs. All right, Carl. Right. They love each other. Two little fellas, two little dwarves with no arms and no legs. Okay, lovely little fellas. They get married. Okay. Look, Carl, you can't put my penis up my boyfriend's bottom, can you?
No, I can't. No.
Why not? Why not?
Do you need anything else doing?
No, I'm fine. Yeah.
No, it's weird how you can manage everything else.
Well, no.
I'm here to help you. Everything else seems to be sorted.
Well, just in the chair.
Why do you need help in this department?
Well, because he's over there and I'm here, and if you just pop me in and just leave.
No, I'm not doing that. It's not good for you. You've lost your arms and legs. You'll be losing that soon if you carry on sticking it up there.
that's just a few minutes of a much, much longer and more extensive study in the great subject of medicine. What can we look forward to in the new audiobook series? We've done medicine, that's safe, that's kicking.
What other subjects would you like to cover?
I'd like to do natural history.
Yeah, natural history's good.
Well, we were talking the other day. Karl is fascinated by that quote I once told him that Wittgenstein said, if a lion could speak English, you wouldn't be able to understand it because your cultural references would be so different. And as you know, Karl couldn't get it. He'd be going, well, I think I would understand a lion. He was going, I know what sort of day it's had. What did you mean by that?
I just mean, of all the things that are out there, I kind of know what a lion gets up to.
Yeah, but
so
you
I
don't
wouldn't
know.
be shocked
No,
when
but
it told me.
No, it's so different.
No, it's not. Not
It
when
is.
when you think about say like a worm.
Yeah.
I'd go on, tell me again, what have you been up to?
Yeah.
Because it's so weird.
Yeah.
It's so different. But a lion, I know. Most of it's he's going to say he's been hunting again.
Yeah, but he's not going to say, I've been hunting again. Yeah.
Well, what do you mean?
But no, it's not about that. It's like you can't understand really well-educated people using different words and culture. It's sort of like people are different enough. You don't quite understand what they're talking about.
But you do. You always do. Even in tribes, I've watched programs about tribes, and I don't know what they're doing.
But I think
we're people.
Can I
We're all
suggest? I
people.
think the problem Carl's having is when he imagines this talking lion, he's thinking of the Lion King,
Yeah.
where
yeah.
essentially those lions are just humans acting
What's
like
the
humans
worst
act.
What's the worst animal that if it could talk, you'd be scared of? If a spider came up to you and went, Carl, I'm gonna fucking bite you.
That wouldn't really bother me.
No. What about an alligator going, Carl?
Crocodiles and owls.
Crocodiles now. So if a crocodile you went out, right? You open the bedroom door and there's a crocodile and he's broken in, and you go, oh, and he goes, yeah, I'd if I was you, because I'm gonna fucking crunch through your head, and then I'm gonna swallow you. I'm gonna drag you under in my larder, right, and get you till you soften, and I'm gonna rip your limbs off by twisting in the water. How would you like that, you round-headed little fucker?
I'd just shut the door.
Well, no, don't shut the door, mate, because that'd just make me angrier. So,
Bothered. Not bothered.
Well,
Shouldn't
why
even be in here.
what?
Shouldn't even be in here.
No, but why don't you go, alright, let's talk about this.
No, I
Okay.
wouldn't talk about it because there's no reasoning with him.
Why?
He's a lunatic.
And what's an owl going to say to you that'll freak you out?
It's just more
Something
of a shock. There's something weird about that. I could imagine him sort of. It's that look, you know. It's the same sort of thing as the fella out the Sparks. That
Yeah.
sort of head turn,
Yeah.
and I can imagine it doing that, and then sort of going.
Do you know why
What
they
you
turn
doing?
their head?
Well, just to look around.
Yeah, because they can't move their eyes in their head. They're so big, the eyes. The eyes take up the whole skull, and they can't move them within the in the skull, so they have to move their head.
Why are you looking at me?
So I hope you enjoyed that little free.
I'd have thought they would have.
Free test, isn't it?
Well, it's free.
It's free, and a little just a little sample there.
Yeah,
of,
don't
of
complain
things.
if it's free.
No,
Just
no,
enjoy it.
no. Little bonus material, a little a snippet.
Are they complaining because it's
No,
free?
no, no,
I mean,
if they are.
well, that just seems unfair.
Fuck them. If they are complaining, fuck them.
Well, that's not fair 'cause it's fucking free.
Fuck 'em. But if you have enjoyed this, then download the full unexpurgated 50-minute version of a Ricky Gervais guide to medicine.
How can people get hold of that?
They just download it on iTunes. You know, you can't argue with a quid or so, can you? You know what I mean? And that's available New Year's Eve.
Can you get it anywhere else?
Audible.co.uk.
Oh.
Well, everyone's getting excited, Steve, because coming soon is the second in the series of Ricky Gervais' Guide to, and it's natural history.
Natural history is a big topic, Rick.
It is a big topic, but I think we proved we were up to the task. We've just recorded it. It's great. It's a wonderful guide to anyone.
I should just make it clear in case people are worried about what your credentials are. Of course, you've been a big fan and you've studied natural history for many, many, many years.
Yeah, it was my first love, science and natural history from early age, 4, 5, 6. I did biology, chemistry and physics at A-level, and I actually went to university to study biology. And I gave up after 2 weeks because it was too many lectures, and I swapped to philosophy, which was 7 hours a week.
I shall, in hope, be arbitrating the conversation between yourself, a man who, by his own admission, knows a lot about the subject. Who else will you be talking with?
I'll be talking to you, Stephen, and Karl Pilkington, who is our ace in the hole, really, because a lot of people, they're professors, they've studied this, they've studied apes. We've got an ape.
Yeah, it's essentially the words, straight from the donkey's mouth, as it were.
No, he's definitely more of a donkey. Yeah. Let's play him a little clip. This clip starts at a point in the discussion where I was talking about how perfect animals are by definition, and we asked Karl if he could improve on that to design the best animal ever. This is what the fool said.
I'd have like an armadillo's body.
Right. Okay. So that's as big as you can be now, then. So you can't really pop on a lion's head because it'd just lay there going, I can't fucking move.
All right. I'd have head of an owl.
Right.
The head of an owl?
Yeah. Why? What does that bring to the table?
The head's there to sort of make it look friendly to the human race. So
Okay.
because if you look half decent to the human race, they'll look after you.
Right.
That's the way it works.
Yeah.
Isn't it? With
Okay.
a cat and a dog and all that.
Okay.
So the owl makes it look nice.
Right.
I'd have. I wouldn't have legs. I'd go for like the slug juice.
What do you mean? So now you're a really slow-moving, legless armadillo with the head of an owl.
Slithering along. How
Yeah.
is that going to be friendly? They'll see the beautiful face, but then they'll be terrified by the sludge.
No, because the head's that nice that they'll forgo the sludge.
Right.
And the thing with slugs is, I mean, I've talked about. I've had a lot of them. They're hard to flip over.
But hold on though. But wait a minute. So it's got this thing that's stuck, right, going at 0.1 miles an hour with a going whoo, right? You come over, you kick the head off. How is this?
No,
a
because the
survival?
head can go into the thing like a tortoise.
Can it?
Yeah, of course it can. Into the armadillo body.
Well, no, an armadillo doesn't do that. It just curls up into a
No,
ball.
this isn't an armadillo, is it?
So it's
Why has it got the sludge? Why is that
Because
so
what
attractive?
I'm thinking is an armadillo. They're good when they're on their feet. Flip them, they get stuck, like a tortoise.
Right.
Slug stuff keeps it down. So if anything attacks it, it's like a limpet or one of them things that can.
Why
lock
not have a
the stuff.
limpet then?
But it can't get any. How it can barely move. It can
Just
hardly
go and
get
just
anywhere.
go and kick it.
What do you mean it can't get
Well, how
anywhere?
can it escape from danger? It's going to move very
rubbish.
slowly.
No, because
What, that's the
it'll
worst
lock itself in. It'll lock itself in.
Yeah, and then I just scoop it up on the
You
sand.
can't scoop it up. It locks itself in if it's in danger. I'd give it peacock feathers.
This is the worst animal
Why has it got peacock feathers?
Again, it's just
the worst animal I've ever heard.
Why has it got peacock feathers?
threatening. It looks more threatening.
It
That's
do,
what
what?
peacock
That's the
feathers do.
least threatening thing. Peacock feathers. It's like Danny LaRue coming at you. There's
Yeah.
nothing remotely scary about peacock
Yeah,
feathers.
to humans, but
Yeah.
the humans won't be harming it because they like the owl head. People will like to have these things in the garden. They eat lettuce.
They eat lettuce. Why has it got a beak? They eat lettuce. He's telling them what it's going to eat now. The owl's going, fuck that, I want a mouse. I love the fact that he's based what it eats on the fact that how it moves a bit like a slug.
Yes,
Let it eat
yeah.
lettuce. It moves that and let it eat lettuce.
Like I said, it's not that weird if that existed. If that was normal, like when you went out to empty your bin, there was one of them sliding up the wall. You wouldn't even double take. It'd just be like, oh, there's the owl head peacock feathered thing.
I don't know why it's climbing walls in an effort to find lettuce.
Yeah, why is it climbing up that wall?
Because that's the only way it can see properly. Because its head's coming out like that.
So even though you've designed this animal, now you're even explaining
got
its limitations.
Well,
No,
it's
got
mainly
problems.
made as to be on walls. Because what else is living on walls?
Oh God! Oh fucking hell! What a useless animal that is. Karl, I mean. Well, that's just a few minutes of the sort of drivel you can enjoy if you buy the Ricky Gervais Guide to Natural History. It's a must, I'd have thought, isn't it?
I wouldn't want to miss it.
Testing. Hello. Here we are again with another free podcast to inform the lovely people of the world about our upcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts. Now, we cover everything in this episode to do with art, from Da Vinci through to everyday people just, brightening up their lives.
Yeah,
Putting
sure.
up a picture of something. Talking of which, walking here today,
Yeah.
and in the street was one of those security vans, one of those big armoured security vans, and it was parked outside a bank. I think people must have been in there getting the money because it was empty, but I could see through past the driver's seat, and they'd left the door to the sort of the cage open at the back,
Right,
the big secure and on the wall was a nudie picture
From a porn mag or something?
yeah, just put up there.
Right.
Now, so there's a bloke driving, and the bloke in the back goes, "Reg, keep a lookout for anyway." He goes, "What, you think we're going to get hit?" He goes, No, I'm just going to have a quick wank." "What?" "Just gonna have a quick wank, you know, it gets lonely in the back with all this money." "Well, don't wank when we're what? Well, what if we're robbed now?" "Well, I'll stop wanking if the robbers come in. But at the moment, I'm looking at a nude lane, I'm going to have a little wank at work."
I'm going to spread some of the money around like I'm making love to her on a bed, covering the money like I've just done a heist.
"Not when I'm driving."
I got to, mate. I got to express it into my trousers.
"Why can't you have a wank at home?" "Not allowed to wank at home. I said if you're going to wank at work."
The wife actually gave me the picture.
It's ridiculous.
What with those pictures? Do people? Because you see them in garages and workshops and that. Do people? Are they constantly turned on by that picture every time they see it, or do you just become sort of dulled to it after a while? You first put up, you think, cracking knockers and a minge there, and then. And then, like 3 weeks later, you're like, same old knockers, same old minge. I mean, do people have to constantly update those pictures?
But what are they putting it up on the wall for? Because that's for all to see. It's not like keep it in your wallet.
Yeah.
Keep it in your wallet and open up. "I need to see some tits and a minge." Open your wallet.
Maybe they've proven that actually when people do hold up those security vans in a heist, a lot of robbers, 99% of robbers are put off because they'll see a beautiful woman, instantly start having a wank
Or
themselves. They'll put a shotgun down.
they've been hit before and they go, "Where's the money?" They go, "There, where's the knockers?" "I haven't got any knockers." "You haven't got any fucking knockers? Next time, make sure there's a fucking knockers." "Why?" "I need a wank. I'm fucking burgling all day. I need a fucking wank."
But yeah, I mean, it's as legitimate a form of art as Michelangelo or...
Yeah, him on his back doing the Sistine Chapel all the time, doing those lovely fucking, you know...
Or her on her back with her legs akimbo and her fucking photo taken. It's art.
It's, one of the things we do discuss in this audiobook is the merit of putting paintings up on your wall to brighten up your life. Karl rules that out. Not only is he artless and stupid and doesn't really understand the point of any art form, but he's, as you know, got a mirrored wall. And in this clip, we're discussing his life at home with that mirrored wall.
I mean, I haven't got pictures in our flat because of that mirrored wall I've got.
Yeah.
Right? So, I mean, it's tiny. You've been in it. I've got windows on one wall, door to get in on the other, kitchen on the other, mirrored wall on the other. So there's
No
nowhere
space for
there.
art.
There's no space for art.
I'm intrigued how you sit at home. Where's the sofa?
At home,
Yeah.
facing the mirror.
So you sit looking at yourself all night,
Yeah.
as opposed to a painting.
Yeah, but at least that changes each day.
No, it doesn't.
It does. The picture
No,
changes.
it's not. It's round and miserable every fucking day.
No, honestly, it's good to, because you don't look at yourself otherwise. Especially me, I haven't got any hair to comb or anything, so I don't look in the mirror as much as the normal person. So, whereas now, I'm looking there every day.
So you're sat at home staring at yourself?
No, because the telly's in front of the mirror.
But are you not distracted by yourself?
Yeah, you do. When the adverts are on, you look up, and if Suzanne's sat next to me, I tend to talk to her through the mirror.
What do you mean? So why don't you look at her when you talk to her?
Well, you don't have to turn your neck or anything. There's no neck usage going on. I can just look forward. I look at the telly, lift the eyes up, look in the mirror, look at me, look at her.
What does she do? Look back at you in the
We're used
mirror.
to it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's like there's more people in the room in a way. It's like,
And they're further away.
there's nothing odd about that. Why wouldn't you use... It doesn't matter. Your
Sorry,
eyes, remember, your
why
eyes
wouldn't
are
you
still...
talk to your girlfriend via a mirror all the time? Is that your question?
Well, no, I think it's quite normal. If your head is facing a mirror where you can see everything in that room, remember, it's a small flat, I can see everything that's going on in there without moving my head. Stephen Hawking would be well happy. So I can look forward, she's sat next to me. If I'm watching the telly, I can say something. Now, she's getting the sound from me still because she's sat close.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're further away, but things look better from a distance anyway.
So that's how you've managed to keep this relationship alive.
Maybe.
You're such an odd little man.
But no, it's not odd. You see, there was a woman on the estate who did use... have I told you about Miss Peggy before?
No.
It rings a bell. Go on.
I'm going to tell you ages ago, it's this fat woman who used to be on the estate. She had a 3-wheeler bike. And her husband...
Push bike, pedal bike?
Yeah, like a tricycle thing, but a big one.
Right.
She used to sit her husband in the basket in the back. Cycle about, what have you.
Yeah.
She was known as Miss Piggy. Anyway.
Oh, is this the one that she used to beat him up so your dad pretended to be a policeman?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh,
That's the one, yeah. You remember?
No, I don't remember this.
Yeah, she used to always duff her husband up and that, and people in the area knew that she was being a bit tight on him. And my dad went round with his mate and sort of...
But what's this got to do with the mirror?
Anyway, well, the way she used to communicate, she used to always go in quick save and nick biscuits. And if anyone went up to her to say, stop nicking the biscuits, she'd pull out like a little mirror out of a bag, and she'd look in it, but talk to you via the mirror.
Oh man!
What?
This
So she was
place you
insane.
grew up, it's weird, isn't it? It's
It was really weird.
Like
It used to scare
Narnia.
me.
It's like a Salvador Dali painting. you exist in there.
Yeah. It's really, really
So
weird.
hang on. So she used to talk to people through the mirror because she was mental.
I couldn't sit, watch the telly, and look at me watching the telly in the mirror all night.
No,
That's
no,
weird.
that would be
Why?
really weird.
It's really weird, Carl.
I'd be very conscious of myself.
No, yeah,
conscious
I
of the
think
way
it
I'm
gives you,
sad.
it gives you confidence and that. And if you are
Gives you
sort of...
confidence.
Well, yeah, because you're seeing yourself more and you pick up what habits you do and stuff like that.
So what have you changed through your viewing of yourself?
I sort of grew a beard the other week, just something different to look at for a bit. And then you get sick of that. It's like a piece of art. Change that, have a bit of a shave.
Can you see the back of the telly in the mirror?
A little bit, yeah. If the flat's a mess, it's a mess twice.
Oh, God! So that was the clip from the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts, featuring myself, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant,
Hello.
and of course, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Carl's just come back from holiday in St Lucia, 11 days on the beach. Now, he's looking healthy, but he's chubbed up a little bit, hasn't he?
Yeah, hasn't he? He's brilliant.
He's been having some lovely food, I think, and he's just slightly rounder. He's red where he's been out in the sun,
Yeah.
and dare I say it, he looks like a fucking Edam.
Edam cheese.
Yes, a roundy, red, waxy lump of Edam cheese.
It's got a head like a fucking Edam.
How was your holiday, Carl?
Yeah, it's alright. Yeah, not bad.
Yeah,
I mean, I've been there before. It's nice.
yeah.
Got bitten quite a lot by mosquitoes, fleas, ants.
Right.
Big ants over there.
You were in a hotel. You weren't squatting.
No, it's in a hotel, but it's just part of their thing, innit? They have them over there. It's just like having having a fly in your house. Just normal. So when you report it, they sort of like, what do you expect?
Who are you reporting it to? The police.
No, just the reception. I've said, I've got fleas in my room. Is that normal? I said, yeah. So there's no point moving.
That was
room.
definitely someone who worked in the hotel. That wasn't just a caretaker.
No, the
or-
woman on
or-
reception.
or-
She just said it's just the way it is out here. Get used
Right.
to it.
Get used to it.
It's weird because he doesn't say it in the brochure before you've paid the £1,500.
Fuck me, what a boring fucking anecdote this. Fucking Alan Wicker's safe. You've been on holiday to a different country for 11 days and you've
And
got
that's
fuck
it.
all to say except I saw a flea. Jesus Christ.
I
Brilliant.
don't think he even saw the flea. He only knows there was fleas because he got bitten. He's presuming there's fleas.
Fucking hell.
Saw a little frog. Smallest thing I've ever seen.
The
frog-wise.
smallest thing you've ever seen.
Frog-wise.
Smaller than the flea, which was weird.
Frog-wise! Frog-wise! The smallest thing I've ever seen, frog-wise!
So small that I thought it was a spider. I went to get a glass. Went to put the glass on it. It ribbited.
It riveted.
It riveted!
But you gestured. You gestured.
This is
with
one
your-
thing that me and
No,
Steve
but
are
hang
at the
on.
moment is fucking riveted. Jesus
we
Christ, what
should
a boring
clarify
cunt
that
you are.
We should clarify that as he said it riveted, he gestured as in with his thumb as in to suggest it hopped away.
Yeah.
So is that when they hop away, they're riveting away, are they?
What do you
The
call
frog
it?
No,
riveted
no,
off.
no, no. So what did it do? Tell me what
Yeah,
it did.
it sort of it does the thing that a frog does.
What?
Sort of hot jumps.
Oh, so it riveted. Yeah.
It riveted away.
Do you know what it's called? Ribbit. It's an onomatopoeic word. Do you know what an onomatopoeic
Yeah,
word
it's
is?
the thing when it does what it sounds like.
Yeah. So what does ribbit sound like?
Yeah, all right. When it's doing its sound, then.
Well, it didn't know, did it? It hopped
Yeah, it did
away.
that as well.
No,
did
it
the
didn't.
noise
You
as
just-
well as it jumped.
no, it
So as
didn't.
it landed,
It didn't.
it made the noise.
No, it did not. You just made that up. You thought ribbit meant hop.
Well, anyway, I'm just saying it's the smallest one I've seen.
Frog-wise.
Yeah.
Brilliant. an in-depth travelogue there of Karl Pilkington's holiday for free. But don't forget to buy the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Arts, coming soon.
Too much swearing?
No, fuck 'em. Hello, welcome to this free podcast to promote our upcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello there.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Well, we covered most things, didn't we, on the Guide to Philosophy? The big questions, mind-body problem, meaning of life. Got quite existential at one point, and we touched on the futility of life, Karl's favourite subject at the moment. Karl used a lovely model, an anecdote, a story. Listen.
We had an ant problem in the garden. Suzanne said, we've got to get rid of these. And I said, well, it's a bit out of order, they are outside. And she said, yeah, but there's getting a lot of them. She went and popped the kettle on. I said, I can't handle this. I went in, right?
What, you didn't want to see the ant thread? That's sweet, you know, they're there.
Yeah, they might be causing a problem, but I don't want to see this mess. Now, the thing is, she went out, she poured the hot water on it, I left it a few minutes, I went out, I had a cup of tea, I thought, it's a waste of electrical line. Yeah. So I took my cup of tea out there, and I'm sat there, and then I just saw one come back from wherever it had been. One ant. He looked devastated. Because that had been away. As far as that was concerned, it had been out to get a leaf or whatever. He came back, devastation. And that's the thing, he summed up death for me, that. The ants that are dead, they didn't know anything. Suddenly they were there, next minute, load of water, dead. It's the people who are still living in life that are the saddest, aren't they, after death? And that summed it up. What do you think? That ant would have been better off being there when it happened.
How could you tell the ant was...
What do you think? So you saw him...
I mean, they run around in circles anyway, don't they? But this was just kind of going, what's going on?
And what did it slow down when it got nearer the nest? Did it drop the leaf and then you see it run the last few inches?
It just kind of got close, and it was like a double take almost. Almost like it got near the hole, and then it was like, hang on a minute, this can't be it because no one's around. And then it walked on, and it went, no, it is the hole. And it went back, and it just sort of stopped for a minute.
That was Karl Pilkington's guide to the pointlessness of existence through the eyes of a lonely homecoming ant. If you've enjoyed that, there's another 50-odd minutes to listen to on the Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy. Just go to iTunes now and download it. What do you think, Karl?
What about philosophy?
Yeah. Now, have you learned anything from doing that? Did you learn anything? Or do you think life is more pointless?
I don't think you can learn philosophy, can you? It's just something for your brain to be getting on with.
Like Sudoku or watching a fish tank.
That seems to be what the world is now, isn't it? Killing time. The amount of things that have been invented. Sudoku. There's another one. Karako or something. Just loads of them for people to be sat there. Don't know. It's just all stuff that's been invented. Because the country's on its arse, and everyone's like stuck on bad train services and buses and that. To stop them moaning, do a Sudoku. It's all stuff to keep the brain busy. None of it's necessary. I don't know why you get papers who the next day put the answers for a Sudoku in the paper. Because I don't think there's anyone going, oh, where did that 9 go? I think it's of the moment. It's not like a crossword where you go, what was that word? Where does the 9 go? It's not important. The moment's gone. And that's what the world is now. A lot of time filling. It's one big waiting room, the world.
That is, well, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah, well, we're stuck here for 80-odd years. We don't know. Yeah, how do you fit it? How do you enjoy it? I mean, we touch on this, but when there is no point to life, then the only raison d'être is to live your life, have a laugh, and not hurt anyone. I don't know what you think, that what we're meant to be doing. We can't all be saving lives all the time. We can't all be fighting wars. We can't always be at peace. We can't all be great inventors and scholars. So, yeah, some people go, I want to be content. I want to
be content. I like the contentness.
No, you don't.
What are you on about?
You're never happy unless you're moaning. I've never seen you happy.
But maybe that is me being happy, having a moan. You see, my problem is the thoughts. How do you control them?
Right, that sounds like the ramblings of a schizophrenic madman.
No, because the thing is, it's my brain that likes to have a moan. So because of that, I'm tarred with that brush.
I don't know what. It's so complicated.
It's not complicated.
This is quite a big metaphysical idea, actually, that you're exploring here.
Yeah, well, that's.
It's like you have two minds. It's like you're the face for your brain,
Yeah,
right?
that's-
But you're taking the rap for stupid things it put into your head, which is like another brain.
I had a good thought about my thoughts yesterday. They've gone today. I explained it more to Suzanne, my problem with thoughts. And the problem is with a thought...
Did she glaze over?
If you want to
and
get
just
rid
fall
of it...
straight back onto her head?
No, but if you want to get rid of a thought, you can't, can you? Because you've thought it. And the thought thing that came up with the thought doesn't let you forget that thought.
Well, you forgot it.
Yeah, when you want to remember something that is useful to you, like... I need to buy some kidney beans. The thought area doesn't remember it. It's not interested in that. It's interested about something weirder or something that scared you. It remembers that stuff. So you're not really in charge, are you?
You're certainly not.
The thought area kicks in when there's nothing else going on normally.
I don't know what it means anymore.
Okay, can we just go silent for a moment? I want the thought area to kick in. Can I get in touch with the thought area, Carl? Is it possible to speak to the thought area?
Just relax.
When he's ready.
There's no,
Let the mind...
empty your mind. You don't need to say that. Let's take that as read. Carl, in a minute,
area.
I want you to unempty your mind and have a thought. What
What
are
do you want
thinking?
the thought about?
Well, no, I know. I want it to. What are you thinking of right now?
I am not thinking of anything. So tell me something to think about.
No, please, can I... You've attempted to conduct this
cluttering
experiment, Rick. It has not worked. Okay, can we just have a bit of silence, please?
Right, Carl,
No, please.
you've got to have a thought.
Rick, please be quiet.
You
Gervais,
have-
Gervais, shut
Okay.
up. Gervais, shut up. Let
What
me
I said
just...
to you, the thoughts come when they want to come.
Okay, shut up. Everyone shut up. Let's have some silence. And then when the thought
Can I
comes...
just say something quietly, Steve?
No, you can't.
He's the only human being on Earth that... I mean, it's been scientific proven that you can't catch yourself not thinking, and he's disproved that theory.
What do you want the thoughts to be
But
about?
what are you thinking now?
Ricky, this is not fair. I want to conduct an interesting experiment here for
But
our...
explain to him that it's not to
Listen,
do with him
shut
contriving
up!
a thought.
See,
It's
I can't
That's what I'm
think-
going to
I
explain.
can't think this is the
Right.
world's problem.
Carl, I want you to just sit there in that chair. We're going to be quiet. Do not think about anything. Do not try and focus on any subject. Just think about nothing. And we'll find out what you're thinking about. Because you're saying that these thoughts will just pop into your head. So we're going to find out what they are.
Okay.
In your own time, tell us what you're thinking about.
See, there's nothing happening here. There's nothing happening. There's you've got to give the thought something to think about.
Carl, what do you mean? You must be thinking about something now. I'd say, now what's thought in your head? Is there a llama popped in there? Or is there a railway?
Now there has. That's the way it works.
So if you would like to hear more of our musings on the weighty subject of philosophy, you can download the Ricky Gervais Guide to Philosophy from iTunes.
March 17th, it's out if you want it. Alright.
Thanks for listening.
Hello, I'm Ricky Gervais, with me Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
Alright.
Welcome to this free sample of our audiobook, Ricky Gervais Guide to the English. We've just recorded that, and that's out especially for St George's Day. A day that's really forgotten in England. It's St Patrick's Day, everyone knows that. 17th of March, people drink and be merry. Andrew's Day, St David's Day. But St George's Day, it's almost like we're embarrassed about having St George's Day, aren't we? Like it's almost like we're ashamed of being proud of being English, Carl. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, I don't. I mean, I don't celebrate it.
No?
I mean, whenever you see the sort of that English flag, it's normally associated with some nutter.
Well, the problem is that it's linked to jingoism, isn't it? And it doesn't have to be, because I'm not suggesting that on St George's Day everyone paints a red cross on their face, goes out and gets drunk, gets into a fight and sings England into the early hours. But there's loads of ways you could celebrate being English. You could go and buy an Elgar CD, or you could just go for a walk.
I'd like to see a bunch of football hooligans. Just one of them goes, lads, stop glassing that bloke over there. Let's pop down and get some Elgar.
But why does it have to be to do with football hooliganism? That's not what being British
That's
is.
one of the ugly things, isn't it? It's been co-opted by the hooligans, by the racists.
Yeah.
Let's bring it back. Let's take it back, Rick.
Yeah. Patriotism has nothing to do with jingoism. Think how many great things England has given the world.
Great people.
The great people. That's it. The Great Britons. Let's look at the Great Britons, not the idiots.
Can I nominate Shakespeare, please?
Shakespeare. Newton. Isn't Bard Kingdom Brew now?
Mr. Winston Churchill.
Mr. Winston Churchill.
Mr. Charles Dickens.
You know what I mean?
Queen Elizabeth I.
Look, the kings and queens that used to go into battle.
They're all old, though. Everyone you've been talking
Well,
about.
they're all
old.
dead.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Why aren't you
You
saying...
want recent ones?
Well, yeah.
David Beckham.
Not the same, though, is it?
No, it's not the same. I think Steve was being a little bit flippant there.
One thing I do like is when the likes of David Beckham and the gang are playing, the England football team are perhaps in Europe or the World Cup, that's when you see the St. George's flag up, and there's no jingoism involved there. It's good old, you know, the Sun reprints it in the middle pages. You can tear that out and put it in your window, which is the St. George's flag, slightly ruined by the small logo that says The Sun on it. Great, that is lovely. People get right behind England, don't they, then?
Yeah, but they're the nutters, aren't they? That's
They're
what
not,
I'm saying
the
to you.
whole
They
nation
are.
does.
They are. They're the ones who leave it in the window. That's the only reason they've got a flag in the window is they're the curtains in their house. And they stay up. They never close that window. No matter what the weather's like, you see it blowing outside the window. They're not worried about the heating because they never pay the bills. That's how I think about it. Nutters.
It is frightening when you go through an estate and it's like 30 satellite dishes and 12 flags and a couple of pit bulls tied up the fence, and you think, keep driving, do not break down here, do not break down here. Have you put enough petrol in this car?
But, you know, I don't know who...
Well, who would you nominate as one of the great Englishmen, or Englishwomen, of the current age?
Do you know what? It'd be someone who you don't even know.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
okay,
thing.
nominate them then.
Well, I don't know them. But what I'm saying is, it'll be someone like a surgeon or
bloke who helps you with
or
your
a
gallstone?
doctor. Just anyone who's, you know, busy saving lives, never gets a look in, never hear about him. You know, they're the people who are doing the good stuff.
Yeah.
Not your... I mean, Darwin, you know.
I think it's out of him and Churchill for my favourite Englishman.
But why? Why? What's he done, really? Churchill's fine. You know, if it weren't for him, I'd be speaking German. I've said it before. But Darwin, I'd still be here. I'd still be here. It doesn't change anything. If nobody had said that before, and they said it today, you'd probably go, look at him, what an idiot Darwin is. He's saying that we came from apes.
No, I wouldn't, because I'd look at the evidence.
No, you wouldn't. Everybody slagged him off back then. He said at one point that he wishes he kept his mouth shut. He said, oh, I wish I hadn't said it. He said, there's certain things you think and you shouldn't say it out loud because people have a go at you.
I mean, that's a feeling you must have daily.
I've done that. I've put stuff in my books and I've gone, oh, that's it now, that's there forever.
Like what?
The theory about the brain, about how it came about.
Well, what was that theory?
I did, just had a thought, just like Darwin did. He sort of, you know, looked at the evidence and thought, how can this have happened?
Right.
He went the animal route. I went the route of, it could have been, you know, the brain could have been from another planet.
Okay, absolute bollocks then. So you
The
didn't look at
brain
any
could have
evidence.
been from another planet.
There you
What
go,
do you
you're jumping in, you're jumping
What,
in.
so an alien gave it to us?
Well, the brain is the alien. So our brains are the aliens on this planet.
What difference does that make? How is that a theory? So what did we... How did we evolve before the alien came down? We were just walking around bumping into shit while we were going, I need a brain! I wish I had a
It would
brain!
have been like that. We would have been like a chimp. The chimps were still
Well,
involved
they've
in
got
it.
brains.
They're not as brainy as us, are they? There's a planet with a load of brains on it.
Oh,
Just brains.
They're floating around.
so no gravity.
There's no gravity.
Why don't they just float off completely then? Why are they on a planet?
Because it's like one of them balloons, a helium balloon. They only go so high. And then
Right.
it stops. There's a limit. So they're all floating about
This
like
seems
that.
like unnecessary information. The key thing is there's
Oh.
brains floating around.
But how are they surviving on this planet, Carl? I'm just testing your theory.
Right, what are you worried about? What do you mean surviving? What do
Well-
they need? It's a brain.
What do you mean? The brain needs all the things that all life needs. Oxygen. It's got no atmosphere. It's dead straight away. I don't know where it came from. So that's it. It needs water. It needs
Hang on a minute.
it needs
It's
nutrients.
not everything's
it
like
needs
that.
energy.
It's Not everything's like that.
Well, it is. The brain is like that.
So anyway, this is the theory. Pretend I'm giving. I'm at.
What? I mean, it's like talking to fucking Clunk.
His brain's floated off again.
You'd be better off with a helium balloon in
I'm
your
at
head.
a university.
Right.
Let him do his lecture, and then you can ask questions at the end.
Okay.
Right. Welcome everyone. I'm here to talk about how the brain came about. Thanks for having me.
Thanks, Professor Pilkington.
Right. This is what I propose. I'm not going to go on long-winded about it. I want to jump to the meat of it.
Right.
Darwin said the brain evolved. That's fine. Let him have his say. Right? We all know his story. Let's not harp on about what he said.
Okay.
But what I'm saying is they could have been, and they may still be, a planet with just brains on it.
Right. Yes.
Right, now that's good that you're laughing, because I'd say, right, I've got them now, they're on my side, they're all listening to me, they're sick of scientists coming in with all big long words and stuff. Right, so there's a planet with the brains on. Now, they did alright for a while, they were up there, all they were doing all day is thinking. They had nothing else to do.
Sure.
Right.
They did a lot of thinking.
Floating around, bumping into each other.
But there's only so far you can go with thinking.
Yep.
So then,
Amazing quote.
they thought about how to get to this planet. They worked it
What
out.
planet?
A few of them. Earth.
Could I just ask one question?
It lands.
How
no,
could
not
they
yet.
see? How could they
They're
see?
Don't worry about that yet.
No eyes.
Things happen. Well, there's moths without eyes.
Yeah, but
they get on fine.
But they don't think of other planets.
So the brain comes to planet Earth. When it gets there,
Yeah.
thud, lands on the floor.
Right. Because of gravity.
Yeah. The brain ended up getting on the floor
Yeah.
into the monkey's head. And from there,
Get into
that's
that.
when it's evolved. Well, we
Okay.
don't know. There's a lot of things we don't know.
Well, yeah, but I've got to ask you questions, right? I can start one. Where did the brain? How did the brain come about on this planet? How did that evolve? Where did that come from?
Why is it that you accept that it could evolve on another planet, but not on this planet? Why is it? Why you're happy
That's
that
my
it evolved
point.
on another planet, but then it had to make its way
Well, maybe some
through
have.
space?
But what I'm saying is the brainier ones might be from another planet.
Well, why?
Because there's no, it doesn't make sense. Your Darwins, Churchills maybe,
Right.
or your Shakespeare's.
They've got alien brains.
They could have. They could have. The brighter
Yeah,
people who you just go, I don't know how he ever thought of that.
Like
The people who have said things about, we're talking about DNA. There's no
Right.
way that human brain would have ever come up with that.
It did.
No, but it just makes you wonder how they did.
Well,
Stephen Hawking, you see, that's almost like it's not his body. It's like this brain's come from somewhere, this, magnificent brain.
Right.
And it's just overpowered the rest of the body to the point that there's no energy for that rest of the body to do anything. And it just sits there with the brain throbbing, thinking of stuff. Not even worrying about this planet anymore, going on about the universe. Whoa, Stephen, come back. I'm not Stephen. I'm just the brain. And that's how I look at him. I can't imagine, and I'm not disrespecting the man, but I can't see a human being that intelligent.
And can I just remind you that Darwin's Theory of Evolution is available in the same bookshops as Karl Pilkington's book, which expands on this theory. That is democracy at work.
When brain come from planet Earth, thud, creeping monkey. So please download the Ricky Gervais Guide to the English at iTunes, and of course our back catalogue. Yeah, and a big thank you to Positive Internet. Those guys make these little free podcasts possible.
Good guys.
So, thanks. That's goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And the little round-headed, shaven, alien-brained chimp that is Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Hello and welcome to this free podcast and exclusive clip of the upcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to Society. We chat about a load of things, don't we?
As always.
We cover the entire gamut of everything you could put under the umbrella term society and more. One thing we didn't talk about is specific demographics of society. One that is a concern for me. Teenager, Steve.
What worries you about the teenager? You're not buying into this tabloid scaremongering about hoodies and the like, are you? Don't buy into that, Rick, please, for God's sake.
Well, no, but I do sometimes think they're treating teenage crime incorrectly, because when you get a little brat, he's been allowed to do what he wants. It might not be his fault. He comes from working home. He gets caught. They stick an ASBO on him. They love that. That's a badge of honour.
Yeah, that's
an
true.
ASBO, that's like really cool to have an Asbo. Now they're super crim. But that's cool, they've got a tag. No, make it a little pink tag with Mummy's little bender on it. Okay, then they won't be so cool, will they? Instead of going to prison and coming out with a tattoo, knowing like Fingers Mulligan now and being really cool, right, the coolest bloke in the pub. Now what they do is like, right, we're on television, a live Saturday night television, you have your trousers pulled down and spanked by John Barrowman.
Yeah.
How's that?
They have to be part of the chorus line for Oliver.
Well, in this clip, we're talking about the importance of good parenting, whether that's biological or adoptive. Enjoy.
Obviously, in China, you can only have one child, can't you? Is that something you feel we should bring in here?
Yeah, I think we've got to. I don't know about one kid. I just sort of concentrate on who can have a kid, as opposed to if someone's got a load of money and they're good at looking after kids, let Madonna have as many as she wants. But if it's someone who's
social engineering you want to do.
Yeah, but hold on though.
Well, what you said then, if you're bringing them into a poor family, what's the point? What good is that for anyone? It's not good for the people who've had the kids.
So who's deciding who's allowed to have how many kids? Are you deciding?
I was brought into the poor family, wasn't I?
What?
I was brought into a poor family.
Yeah, no, I'm talking really poor.
So third world.
No.
What, poorer than that? Poorer than no money at all?
No, somewhere in the middle again. You've gone too far the other way.
Okay,
why has it always got to go the other way?
Cornwall.
I just mean like the people who I've told you about on the estate sometimes, who had that one who chased cars and stuff. He wasn't happy. They didn't care if he was there or not. What's the point?
Right. So hang on. So let's imagine that Ricky and I are husband and wife. We've come in, right? What's your questions to us to establish whether we are allowed to have a couple of kids?
Hello. Thanks for coming.
Me and my husband, we can't have children.
Why not?
Because he's got no sperm at all.
Okay.
He had one sperm and it was ridiculous. It was awful. It just came out like a dead anchovy.
Right.
And you're meant to have 300 million tiny ones, and he had one big one. It was horrible. I had to pull it out. It was like a leech, and also it was I haven't got a vagina, so there was no place
completely
to
smooth down there like an action man.
Yeah, it was just that. I don't know, but we love children, and we wondered if we could have a child.
What do you do for a living? What do you do? What's your work?
I'm a rapist.
Right.
And I dispose of the bodies.
Right. Fill out this form.
I should have clarified. A rapist murderer.
Yeah.
Fill out the form.
He does it in the wrong order as well, I must say. So, no, number of times I've disposed of the body, said I hadn't raped that one.
I know. Just wondered what else you need to know about us. Because even though
that was our little joke, by the way. He doesn't rape.
I work in an office.
He works in an office in the town.
But
I'm a housewife.
She's a housewife.
I'm making a little nest for when we adopt a little child.
We don't earn a great deal of money, but we're good parents.
We're very good parents.
What's that based on?
We're good people. I mean, aside from a few naughty jokes.
Naughty jokes. No, we're God-fearing people. We believe that God is watching all of us, and we believe in the Old Testament.
And sometimes he tells us to kill and rape.
Yeah, sometimes he does, yeah. Particularly, we've stoned a couple of homosexuals this week alone.
We're joking again.
We're joking again. We don't
joke.
believe in God. We're from an atheist and believe that our time on earth is all we have, and then when we die we become worms, mate.
Right. Well, you filled out.
But we've already painted the back bedroom. That's ready for the little child.
We've painted it black.
Yeah.
Because we want our child to be a Satanist.
Right.
Joking again.
Little joke
Joking again.
us.
We want him to be an accountant.
Right.
Yeah.
Gay accountant.
Some would say the same thing. Only joking. Of course.
I think there's too much in society where people are pressured to be heterosexual. So we're going to try and make ours a homosexual. So we don't care whether you get a homosexual or a heterosexual. But I tell you, by the time he's 14, he will be as queer as the Ace of Spades.
Right, so you filled out the form. Yeah, we'll put that in, get it processed.
Right.
Okay, but what kind of questions are you going to ask us?
None really.
No,
it's just my job.
You're happy. You're happy
my job
with us.
to pass the forms on.
We've passed the interview.
Because that's the sort of world we live in now.
God. We don't want a child. We don't want a child, actually.
But do you know where we could buy a knife and a sack?
So there's just a few minutes of drivel
from the Ricky Gervais Guide to Society, you can get another 50 minutes of that standard chat. Yeah, I hope you all learned something. That's available from the 2nd of November. Hello and welcome to this free teaser podcast to promote the upcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to Law and Order. Packed full of interesting stuff. One big obvious thing we didn't do is discuss those sort of weird, foreign, unrepealed laws. I suppose it's sort of like a DJ staple thing to do.
But some of them are fascinating, and I was looking online to see if any of them were actually verifiable, because often you think they're sort of archaic laws that don't exist anymore.
Well, some of them probably, they were laws, but they don't count anymore anyway. They're funny because they were made, 200 years ago, like you've got to practice archery if you're over 14 for an hour a day, and that is funny.
Yeah.
But it's not like it's a law that's around today that you could find a loophole in. It's like...
Although they haven't been repealed, haven't they? Isn't that
well,
the
they
point?
haven't been repealed because there's no point, but but
isn't there something about you're allowed to shoot a Welshman with a bow and arrow in the city of Chester or somewhere between the hours of 5 and 10?
I really wouldn't advise it. I think that
well, it's law. It's law.
I wouldn't take that. Yeah,
it's law.
Yeah, okay.
Well, the one that I found that it has been verified, which I think is quite extraordinary. I just want you to think, Rick, about the practicalities involved in this. In Bahrain, a male doctor may legally examine a woman's genitals, but is forbidden from looking directly at them during the examination. He may only see their reflection in a mirror.
That's like viewing an eclipse.
Yeah, or the Medusa.
It's not for his own safety. I assume it's for decency, is it?
But well, I guess it is. It's obviously something, as you say, to do. But what I find confusing is you'd have to hold the mirror, because I don't know if you've ever tried to say trim the back of your head, like if you've got a bit of loose stray hair in the back of your hair.
It's all backwards,
it's quite
isn't
tricky.
it?
It's very difficult backwards.
Yeah.
You've got to work backwards. Try and use scissors backwards is very strange. That must be very awkward.
Also,
there.
it must go. You've got a very small vagina. Do you go? No, it's twice as far away. Because of course, yeah. I just move the mirror closer. Well, no, you can't get your head in the way you need to. You need to.
Does he have to hold them? Or does he have an assistant to hold the mirror? She can see her genitals and his face.
Depends what angle it's at. Maybe she gets a glimpse of him and he looks up at her and it's an awkward moment. And he goes, "Sorry about that." He goes, "Yeah, I caught you. I was looking at your vagina through the... No. I know you were looking at the vagina, but you looked at me, which was a little bit awkward. Why were you looking at my face?" Sometimes I like to connect the face to the vagina on which I'm working.
I'm on for it, otherwise it's just a disembodied vagina. That can be quite scary if you're looking at it for a long time.
Just look at the vagina.
Well, it can just start
not directly. Just look in the mirror. Is that a shaving mirror? Because it looks very large now. Yeah, it is, because it helps.
It's got two sides to it.
Yeah.
One side makes it... Whoa, that's
no,
that's
look
like
in the
something
smaller
from Star Wars.
Look in the smaller one.
That's creepy.
Turn it round. Okay. Thank you very
He's allowed
much.
to look... He can look round at her, presumably.
Yeah.
So he can look round, he can look at the boobs...
Yeah.
Face,
I'm
everything else.
going to look at your vagina now. We'll get the mirror then. There's an example of some of the drivel that you might hear, but here's an actual clip from the show. Enjoy. Carl, have you ever been conned?
There's always someone doing well out of me. There's always someone, if they're a little bit short, we'll go around to Pilkington.
But I mean, 3 or 4 times a day. Sometimes I call him up and he goes, "Right, the washing machine's broken. They came round, they've done this, right? They couldn't fix it, but they had to call it, charge 90 quid. I called the bank, said no, they can't do that. Turns out they can't do it." It's like a string of things where it looks like Carl's handing up money, like the end of a comic book. He goes, "That's for the broken window, and there's for my sausages." It's like a queue of people just taking money off Carl.
I don't know, they're normally alright if I'm face to face with them.
Really?
Yeah, if I can sort of, if I can go in a place, but a lot of stuff now is done on the phone.
Yeah.
It's all phone, isn't it? Because it's all over the world where you're speaking to these people.
Yeah.
I was talking to someone the other day about the alarm system, right, in the flat. Called them up, thought, it'd be good to get this going again. Have an alarm system. I haven't had one for years. Might as well use it, it's there. So I called them up and said, there's an alarm system in this flat I've bought. I want to get it going again. What's the situation? So they took a load of details and stuff, and they said, right, what you have to do, it's 400 quid a year. I said, what? So 400 quid a year. I said, what's that for? He said, if the alarm goes off we can guarantee that a couple will be there in like a minute and a half. I said, I don't want that. I said, I'm just happy with the alarm just going off. I'll give the keys to the neighbour. No, you can't do that. You've got to have this way. I said, 400. I said, I thought alarms are meant to stop you being robbed. Did you what, sir? I don't understand sarcasm when you're talking to them people.
Yeah, just to get out your system when you know you've been conned, you just laugh in the face of adversity. I remember it was a couple of days before Christmas. I was going away, but I had a dripping tap, and it started dripping more. So there was nothing I could do. The maintenance people were away, the caretakers were. I couldn't get in, and so I called out an emergency plumber. I knew this was going to cost, but bloke came round. Honestly, he made you look smart. He was like one of those kids who looked like a lumpy child. He was probably 20,
yeah,
but he just looked like, you know what I mean, they'd scaled up a sort of 13-year-old big-faced lad.
Yeah,
right. And he came in, and he didn't know how to stop it. He couldn't unscrew it. He went, I don't know what to do. I called my brother. He's there. Just I said, Bob, what can I do? He said, you could crush the pipe and then get it cut and fixed when you go. I said, great idea. So I said to the plumber, I said, can we crush the pipe? Oh yeah, I'll go and get a tool. We went down the van, came up with this thing, like a fat sort of little pair of pliers. He wasn't strong enough. So I went, I had to go. I said, well, how do we both do it? So we both put our hands on it, and we managed to crush the pipe, flatten the pipe, cut it off. He put a little thing on the end of it so it wouldn't leak. Right? I went, great. I said, how much is that? He went, 180 quid. So I went, right, okay. So I wrote him out a cheque for 180 quid, and I thought I'll have a little bit of sarcasm. So it wasn't his idea. I helped him do it. I went, how much was that tool? He went, about £5. I went, that's paid for itself, isn't it? Silence. He went, yep, just nothing. Tough crowd,
yeah,
right?
Of course.
Right. So I signed the cheque. Like, he went, oh, he said, I forgot to charge you for the little washer on the end. I went, how much is that? He went, £2.50. I went, can I give you that in cash? He went, yeah. I went, there you go, there's the £2.50 for the washer on the end, and there's the £180. And he went, and that was it. I didn't even get a little chuckle. He didn't even think. He should have gone, well, let's split that, because we both did that. Yeah, that's 90 quid each. I go, okay, that's brilliant, mate, cheers. Here's a Christmas bonus. Well, we hope that little clip has enticed you to buy the entire show, which is available from the 1st of December. That's the Ricky Gervais Guide to Law and Order. Hello, and welcome to this free podcast promoting the new audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Future, with me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And
Karl Pilkington.
All right.
We've recorded the guide for your listening pleasure. Karl's musings on that topic and his predictions are, I think, some of the most ridiculous and pointless things he's ever said.
Yeah. Rick, you saying that obviously it's about the future, but perhaps we could pause for a second. The audiobook considers the future, but we've obviously known Karl for much of this decade. When we first met him, obviously I don't think either of us anticipated that we would be where we are today. How do you see the changing Karl? How has he grown in your mind?
It's interesting, isn't it, that over the last sort of 8 years that we've known Karl, and everything we've done together, from the podcast through to these guides, through to the animation, the topic that keeps coming back up is the quest for knowledge, the point of knowledge, nature versus nurture, the human mind, introspection, morality, all those things that are huge, massive conundrums and problems that philosophers and geniuses have pondered, and yet it's his favourite subject as well, which is ironic, because he knows nothing, but he's fascinated by that.
Yeah, but because you can't go wrong with it. There's not a yes-no answer, is there? You can say what you want.
What do you mean, now? Give me an example of a question we asked that you could be right whether you said yes or no.
Well, the future stuff, the stuff we've talked about the future.
Well, you can't be wrong, you just don't know it. Do you mean if someone says, is the Mona Lisa a good or a bad piece of art, it doesn't matter what you say because it's opinion? Do you mean subjectivism, or do you mean...
No, because that's just taste anyway.
Well, I think there has got to be some sort of objectivism within art, really.
What do you mean?
Well, an expert said this is a good bottle of wine, this is a bad bottle of wine.
Yeah, but
he probably knows the good bottle of wine from the bad bottle of wine.
But I'm glad I'm not that person who likes the good wine, because it's just making their life difficult for them, because they can't enjoy the cheap stuff.
No, what
it's like I watch MasterChef. Do they ever have beans on toast and be happy with it?
No, but that's the different point. What I'm saying is, if you could, but a carpenter would know a good dovetail joint from a bad one, right? A doctor would know a good piece of stitching from a bad piece of stitching. So it might be the fact that because you deal with your taste buds and an aim, a paradigm of what excites them correctly, then you could tell a bottle that's turned within the last few hours, or a cheese that's not quite right.
So it's a hindrance.
But you might like bad wine.
No, it's not that I like bad wine. It's just that I can't tell the difference. So it's easy for me. I'll have a nice drink and go, yeah, I enjoyed that. An expert will go, a little bit off.
Right.
So his night's been ruined.
Yes, but you have never said you enjoyed anything except munchies. So unless we're getting into munchy tasting...
But I have had munchies where the chocolate's gone a little bit off. It's like it's been melted and frozen again.
Right.
And I go, I'm not happy with these. But that's because I've had a lot of munchies.
Exactly!
Yeah.
Exactly!
So you're something of a munchy connoisseur.
Okay, what did you thought? You opened them up, did you see the chocolate immediately?
I saw that it was a little bit white.
So you see, because you could have seen that immediately. To have someone had munchies before, they might go, that's alright. You go, whoa, I've seen a million munchies, and that one's slightly off.
I don't know, I prefer to give it to someone and say, what do you think of that?
What do you mean?
Well, let them have it and see if they enjoy it.
But you know it's an inferior munchie, why would you give that to someone else?
Because they'll get more out of it than me.
So what, you'd give someone an inferior munchie?
Yes.
Why?
Because they don't know the difference. It's like we could give all our bad food to some starving country.
But why would you do that? Why wouldn't you give them good food?
Because we need the good food. Because we've got sort of fancier taste buds than them.
So you're saying there is a right and a wrong, and to good and bad food. So you could say there is good and bad food. So you've put an objective view on taste. That was my initial point.
No, but that's my taste buds.
Yeah. But so you've got to taste every bit of food we send to Africa and go, don't send that one. That's the good one. That munch is a little bit white. Send it off. What are you saying?
I've already said what I'm saying. I said that at the end of the day, if you spoil yourself, you can't enjoy the simple things.
So what, never have something that's too good because there's no going back?
Have it as a special treat, but not every day.
Right.
The chefs on MasterChef, they're not enjoying a meal. They leave the food in the mouth far too long. They're tasting it for too long. Get it et. They study it too much. If you study anything for too long, you can put yourself off it.
Yeah.
So just have a look, have a taste.
But Karl, in the time that I've known you, I've tasted finer wines than I ever had when I was younger. I've eaten good food in good places, and I would like to think I could honestly say that I prefer the good food and the good wine. It's patently better. The flavours, the sensations are more exciting to the palate. They're more memorable. A good bottle of wine is infinitely more preferable than a cheap bottle of plonk from the supermarket.
Depends what you're used to.
It does depend on you, but actually, Steve's point, because we weren't brought up on that sort of food. I mean, I didn't go to a restaurant till I was 14. My older brother took us, and I think it was the first time my mum had been in a restaurant. Right, and I've still got my quite simple plebeian sort of taste. I mean, I do love mature cheddar on beans on toast. You can't beat it. So it's harder for us to get over that. But someone who's only ever been given the best food, I mean, I don't know what they'd think of a bad meal.
But I mean, I come from a family where, my father's rule with food tends to be more that, it's all about quantity, not quality. The more food you have on your plate, it's better. So when I was growing up, the height of sophistication in any restaurant was the mixed grill. Because the mixed grill was a number of meats, lightly grilled, seemingly with nothing else. Whatever meat you have out there, grill it, bring it out. And that was considered great and exciting because, we didn't have all kinds of meats in our house every day, so that was something of a treat. But if I look back to those mixed grills, which at the time I enjoyed enormously, they're not going to compare with eating, the Fat Duck or a Gordon Ramsay restaurant,
But then I think that's going it too far. I don't want it to be P.T. Barnum. I do want it to be good food that I enjoy and excite my taste buds and leave me full, dare I say it. But I don't need to do things that taste different in your nose and your eyes than it did on your tongue and your throat.
Yeah, but that's because you don't enjoy the sort of theatre of food.
I don't enjoy the theatre. No, that's true.
That's a kind of almost like a theatrical
yes,
experience.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and I suppose that I think when you go into it, you've got to know that it is actually something else. It isn't just a dining experience. It is something else.
Yeah, but I don't go out for that. If I go out for food, it's because I'm hungry. I don't want the chef cooking out the table. Don't want to see it. It's a night out. Why am I sat in the kitchen? Would you like to come and sit in the kitchen, have your meal, so you can see it cook? No. Where's it going to stop? Oh, let's see him wash up the plates after. It's mental. I think
chef's table is a bit weird. That's a bit intense. The table in the kitchen where you see everything.
Ridiculous.
All the clattering and the noise and him shouting
exactly,
at people.
That's like being in the old small flat I had.
Yeah.
I want to get away from the kitchen, but I couldn't because it was next to the telly.
Also, if I look at a kitchen, I have to turn away in case they wipe their nose or I see a bit of sweat drip into the souffle. I mustn't look into a kitchen for too long because I will see something I don't like.
Yeah.
I will see someone not wash their hands enough or anything can put me off.
Yeah.
Well, that was some bonus drivel there.
Tremendous drivel.
Let's have a clip from the actual audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Future. One prediction for the future, Karl, is from an academic study, what the world will be like in about 75 years from now. And a big prediction they're sort of sure of is that androgyny will rule. There'll be so little difference between men and women, apart from the biology, economically, socially. It won't matter who the biggest breadwinner is, that's already being phased out. If you're in a traditional heterosexual male-female couple, it'll be who stays home, who earns the most or whatever. It won't be governed by gender, and that's getting less and less anyway, as it is now. But soon you won't even need a female or a man in your life. You'll just need the egg or sperm, and you'll be able to have any coupling you want or not. Thoughts, Karl?
That isn't what I've heard.
What were you heard?
I heard that.
So you read an academic study, Rick, but let's find out what Karl's been reading.
I heard we're all going to go ugly.
Different point, though, isn't it?
That's a completely different point. That not listening to a word Ricky said. But
no, it's just if we all sort of go ugly, that will sort the population.
He gets an extra syllable in the word ugly. Ugly, ugly. Ugly.
Yeah, so that just sorts the population out because people aren't sort of having it away left, right, and centre.
Well, no. Well, then that doesn't sort of. What do you mean?
Sorry, Rick. I don't understand what the hell he said there.
Are you saying because everyone's ugly, everyone won't want to have it away more with the ugly person?
Yeah.
Okay, I still don't. You seem to understand what he's talking about, Rick. I'm still confused.
But what he thinks is that if we're all ugly, then we still have this strange paradigm of beauty that won't exist, so we won't fancy anyone as much.
No, they'll still sort of fancy, because at the end of the day, we're animals, aren't we?
Yeah.
So we'll still have it away, but not as much as they'd like to do now, because it's all based on looks.
Sorry, but what's this got to do with what Ricky said?
Like? Describe a typical town or country.
It's exactly right. Imagine London. You've still got the gherkin. You've still got the big wheel. That's It's just everyone's ugly.
Right, and they're doing all the same jobs, are they?
Everyone's still the world's got to carry on.
What do they look like? What's ugly?
Just imagine, like, have you ever seen anyone when you've just gone, look at that?
Yeah.
Right. Well, like that.
Yeah, but hold on. It's ugly by today's standards, is it? So I throw forward to 75 years, you'll go, oh, everyone's what we call ugly. But what's happened to society? What do they think of everyone? They won't suddenly go in, isn't it annoying? We've got uglier. Because it's not like
because we have got better looking, haven't we? If I look back now at a school photo, you look at my class and you go, what was going on then? You can't tell the difference between some of the girls and the blokes.
No, but that's not true. Because
It is, honestly. You
that's
look at it and
fashion
you
and
see
nutrition, and I see that. Yeah, when I see an old episode of Bullseye, I think, Jesus, the men look like rakes with no teeth and a moustache, and they're bald with their hair down like a paedophile. And he goes, "Now, how old are you?" And I thought, 52. 50 goes, "I'm 22." What?
Yeah, but that's more because of the sort of people that used to go on Bullseye. I mean, you know, Paul Newman was never going to pop on Bullseye.
No, exactly.
You know, because he was actually a plumber from, you know, Essex.
And then think of the people that he grew up with, some of them live in holes now.
Yeah.
So, you know, I don't think the class of Pilkey 1982 doesn't really count. When he said, "We've got better looking," I thought he was going to talk about cavemen, not his school photo. I mean, what happened there? There's been no evolution in that time. What are you talking about, Carl? Well, there you go. The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Future. Well, we hope you enjoy the future, whatever it holds for you.
We do.
Yeah. Goodbye from me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Yeah.
And a man, I use the term loosely, who hasn't changed and probably never will, Karl Pilkington.
Right.
Hello, and welcome to this free podcast to hopefully make you aware of the forthcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Human Body. I think we covered everything.
Yeah, it's pretty in-depth, this one.
Yeah, usually I put a
covered.
warning on some of these. They shouldn't be used as part of a thesis. But I'm pretty confident that this probably could help you pass a medical degree or biology degree.
Yes.
If you were to listen to this, I'd say 3 or 4 times, you probably are.
We're certainly halfway to being a doctor.
Halfway in the sense on the way to the surgery.
Yeah.
Dribbling.
Particularly if you follow any of the procedures that we discuss.
Yeah.
Because some of them are quite...
Wait, you're halfway on the way to the doctor with a very sore arse.
Exactly. Without wishing to give anything away. Vis-a-vis what we discuss.
No.
But,
we discussed the body and mind. You know, it's just, let's not disconnect the mind from the body.
Please don't.
And like Karl does, disconnects everything from everything else. Like it's all functioning independently and having little arguments.
yeah, like it's a Mr. Potato Head.
He has a few arguments in this one. We were
He has
discussing
a few arguments with himself in this one.
well, mainly he only has arguments with himself because we don't listen. We were discussing reminiscing, weren't we? You know, one of the useful upshots of the brain and existence, our time on this earth, is that we can look back at good times, and this is what Karl came up with. When was the last time you reminisced?
Well, my mum and dad have been round, haven't they? So been reminiscing a lot.
Yeah.
What were you thinking about?
We're just chatting about Tic Tacs.
One of the great memories, the happy memories.
The Tic Tacs. Now, I used to love them
Yeah.
when I was younger.
Yeah.
My dad got a load of them.
What, this year?
No,
Just
no,
recently?
years ago.
Years ago,
Like
right,
years
okay.
ago when I loved them. I said, I love Tic Tacs, me.
Yeah.
He met one of his mates.
You didn't nick him from the sweet shop?
No,
that's what we
he
do,
knew some
yeah.
mate who could get his hand on a load.
Right.
And he
Thief,
must have
he was a
got
thief.
he must have got about 30 crates of Tic Tacs.
30 crates of Tic Tacs?
Honestly, with like about 24 on each crate. We got them, stuck them in a cupboard under the just in the kitchen in the corner.
Yeah.
Now, I worked my way through about 6 crates. It's quite happy.
In how long?
I don't know, in about 2 weeks, 3 weeks or something.
Right.
And then after that, I'm getting sick of these.
Right.
Yeah. You were minty fresh, but you were sick
lovely
of them.
fresh breath.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, I haven't got that much more to tell you about it. It's just...
What do you
I
So
just
this, sorry, whoa. Bear in mind, this was something he was recently reminiscing with his parents about. They were sat round, and we've already learned up to an hour could go by reminiscing. Sat around for an hour, talking about the great
I've already
Tic
run
Tac
out of
saga.
responses. I've got
Yeah.
nothing to say about
No
that.
opinion
I
on
mean,
that.
I was nearly going to say, what do you do with the empty little flicky Tic Tac boxes?
Yeah, but then you realise that that's utterly dull and boring.
Well,
and not
I
of any interest.
was struggling. I don't know what this anecdote is, other than a bloke. Other than you said to your dad, I like Tic Tacs, me. He went, all right, I talked to Albert. Albert, you got Tic Tacs? I've got 30 crates, if that'll do, yeah? Yeah, bring him round. Put him under cupboard. He's got through 12 crates. What's his breath like? Fucking lovely, but he's been sick all over the cunting place. Oh, do you want some more? No, of course we fucking don't. You'll talk about that in a few years' time. Of course we will, for about a fucking hour. And then we bring it up in an audio book.
But I think that's how we got onto it, because even though I tried to get rid of a load, I used to give them to mates, take them to school, say, have some Tic Tacs. You can have them for free. We used a load in the cat litter tray.
No, you didn't.
We did. It was just ways of getting rid of them.
Jesus Christ!
Sort of freshy smell, isn't it?
That's
it's the same
amazing.
sort of condensity in that, isn't it?
Condensity, it is the same condensity.
Condensity.
Yeah, so I got rid of them like that. And then the weird thing was, even though I'd got shut of them all, you'd be backing up and you'd always hear one ting its way up the tube.
It's tinging its way up the tube. It's tinging its way up the tube. It's tinging its way up the tube. Ting tong, ping pong. It's tinging its way up the tube.
That sounds like something from Willy Wonka.
Oh God!
No, I'm just demonstrating that because that's how many of them there were around the house. You'd drop them, they'd go in every corner and that, like Pac-Man or something. They'd be everywhere. You'd be backing up, tinging it up.
Sheila's getting married. Hannah gets confetti. Don't buy any confetti. Go to cupboard understairs.
So yeah, that's a little memory there, isn't it?
It is a little memory.
Now
it's a really little memory.
The strange Tic Tac house in Salford, where everything is made of Tic Tacs.
Wow, that must have been a hell of a time you had with your parents there. The old Tic Tac
No, but it's
reminiscence.
better. You see, you're saying, "Oh, what a boring story that is." But when my mum and dad
re-gravelled the drive. Yeah, smell it. suck the drive if you want. So, hope you enjoyed that little free taster, and we hope you download The Real Thing, the Ricky Gervais Guide to the Human Body. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Goodbye.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Hello and welcome to this free podcast to promote the upcoming and possibly last ever Ricky Gervais Guide to the Earth. With me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Hello.
And Karl Pilkington.
All right.
Karl, we talked about everything. We've done it. We've probably even solved a few problems. Is there anything we didn't talk about, or did we cover everything and there's nothing left to talk about on this free podcast?
For the Earth.
Yeah. We was concentrating at least.
What can I tell you about the Earth?
This should be interesting.
Well, I suppose the environment bit sort of concerned me a bit more recently.
Why?
Just because of like where I've moved to now. The bloke who owns the other flats, he doesn't live in there.
Right.
So I've got to call him up and say stuff like, bins need emptying.
Right.
Well, basically though, I'm now, because I'm the one who owns it, he's made me, I'm basically a caretaker for the block. that's what I'm saying. On Tuesday I was outside putting a new switch on the wall, because it's got them switches that you push and you've got like, gives you 5 minutes before the lights go off.
Oh yeah.
And that was stuck on. And I don't like wasting energy because I've got to pay for that electric out there in the hallway.
What do you mean it was stuck on? Well, it wasn't real.
No, he's stuck on.
No, it's stuck. He means it's stuck.
The thing that you push in,
Stuck
it's
on
stuck
the
in.
on mode.
Right.
Yeah.
So the lights are on like all day. So I had to go out and buy a new one of them. 25 quid it was.
Really?
25 quid. I've changed that. Now, in a way...
So all that energy you saved by it going on and off was blown in one fell swoop by you having to pay 25 quid to replace
yeah,
it.
exactly. Does anyone care? Does anyone notice? Don't know. But I
You're
feel
doing your
like
bit
I'm doing my bit there. That's that was just this week. God knows what other stuff I've done along the way. But just this week, and but I quite like it. I quite like having a like responsibility now. I've kind of got a little job. I said to you ages ago how I'd like to work at B&Q.
Yeah.
I like the idea of fixing things, helping people out. I've got to stay in all day tomorrow because I'm having the lock changed on the front door.
Yeah.
It's been my little job. I've got to stay in. He's coming between 1 and 3.
I don't know, I thought your job was washing up.
Yeah, but now we've got a dishwasher. That's sort of I've been made redundant from that game. So I've
goodbye plunger.
Suzanne said I'm
sponge.
getting a bit carried away because I keep putting up signs on the door to people saying things like, make sure you don't hit the button too hard on the light switch.
Right.
Make sure the door's shut behind you.
And
make sure.
is this in English language or Karl speak? All right. Don't be squashing it too hard, like, right?
Suzanne sort of said try and make him a bit more friendly because sometimes it's like you're shouting at him.
Well, like what? What'd you say?
Just no sort of hello everyone or anything. It's just
All
do
in
this, will
capitals.
you?
Yeah.
Yeah. And she told me
Well, he
to
only
calm
writes
down.
in capitals. He didn't ever learn to write. He's never.
Oh, you're right, I've never seen him write anything other
He
than
doesn't
capitals.
write in small case, and he doesn't do joined up. Everything's in capitals.
I'm never in that much of a rush that I've got to do joined up writing.
You can't. Can you do joined up right if you wanted to?
I don't think I've ever done it. I've never done joined up writing.
Can you write a sentence for me now that says, "Hello, my name is Karl Pilkington and I'm writing this sentence in joined up writing"?
Go on, do it.
Please.
I'll stick it on the blog.
I've never...
Right. Oh. Jesus. It's
So
already...
what am I saying again?
Hello.
And you want me to try joined up?
Yeah.
Well, I want you to try joined up.
No, well, all I
writing joined
do,
up.
when I was taught...
Well, no,
to
you haven't joined up one.
No,
There's
but
not
this
one
is how
letter
I was
joined
taught.
yet.
That's how I used to do it, like that, at school.
joining up
afterwards. That's
Okay.
amazing.
Listeners, he just wrote the word hello and then joined up the letters afterwards.
That's how we were taught to do it at school.
What's the point in that?
Just 'cause it looks grown up.
Twice as long.
Imagine how long an essay would take going through.
I don't understand what the
What you
problem
should
is
do,
here.
if you to make it easier, to make it even clearer, maybe cut out letters from a newspaper and stick them on.
Yeah, and then stick it, and then cut out lines from a paper and join the letters that way.
So yeah, that's been my job at the moment. But I'm just so I might get into the recycling thing. I might sort of get some of them bins outside.
Well, we've seen you're a fan of recycling. When you tell us about a mattress that was used more than once.
I ordered a bed.
Yeah.
It turned up.
Oh, well done. Fucking hell, that's a victory.
I thought.
They went down shit creek this
That's not
time.
the end of the story, is it?
No.
So I thought I'm gonna get this in the bedroom, set it all up. Suzanne comes home from work, the bed's done, she'll be well happy.
Yeah.
So I get it all up there in the lift and what have you. I think it seems like I'm missing something here. Put it together, no mattress.
How would you not notice there was no mattress?
No, just because it's like, I'm thinking, yeah, I've got all the screws, I've got the slats for that at the bottom, there's the post and that. So I put it together.
Where's the
going, right.
softy spongy bit of furniture that usually sits on top of the more rigid bit of furniture?
So I called them up, I said, there's no mattress with it. They said, no, it's not part of it. So what do you mean it's not part of it? A bed isn't a bed without a mattress, it's a climbing frame, right? So they said you can buy one. We have got them in for that thing. But it was like 400 odd quid. And
I don't know why you're telling me this. I
300.
know this. I've walked beds. I understand this is how it
No, the
works.
mattress isn't a bed. No, the bed is something else.
Yeah, but that's wrong. You cannot use a bed without a mattress is what I'm saying. So don't sell it without it.
No, but some people replace the bed frame
That's
and
fine.
keep the old
That's
mattress
fine.
or the other
That's
way
fine.
around.
Once you've invested in it and you go, oh, will I buy a new bed or will I just buy a new mattress? Fine.
Well, they're not going to keep selling beds with new mattresses in case you've already got a mattress.
What?
A bed and a mattress without any pillows and blankets is no good, but you don't expect that to come with it.
At least you can sleep on that. You can sleep on a spongy bit. You can chuck a coat over you. You can use a
They're
cushion
not
off a
thinking
sofa.
some fuckwit might buy it without the mattress. We better include it.
So anyway, I was like, I didn't think of this.
I didn't think of this.
So I called my dad up.
I didn't think. So I called my dad up. Dad, it's your fuckwit son again. All right, son, how's it going? What have you done? Bought a bed without a mattress?
So I said, listen, I've bought that bed. There's no mattress on it. Can you get us one? So he said, oh, I'll have a word. I'll call around, right? So he calls back like an hour and a half later. He said, got your mattress, go round to Alf's. Alf is me sort of uncle who isn't an uncle.
All right.
He's the one who I've told you about who had two tellies. We've talked about it on the podcast. He had two tellies, one that worked picture-wise, one that worked on the sound.
Perfect.
Slept in a rubber dinghy, right? Now the thing is,
I remember Alf, yeah.
he said, yeah, I've got a mattress, come and get it. So I go round there.
Why does he sleep on the fucking mattress if he's got one?
said
Why
it's
does he
not-
sleep in a fucking boat if he's got a mattress?
He's terrified of flooding.
Yeah.
So anyway, I get there and it's in his van.
Right.
Dragged the
He's
mattress
driving
off.
around with a mattress in the back of a van. What is he, a fucking serial killer?
So I thought Suzanne's going to be happy. Dragged it out of the van, chucked it in the car. Thought she won't even know. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
So I dragged that back. Thinking, am I going to make its rush hour by this point? Thinking, she's going to get home. Anyway, get home, drag it into the lift and what have you. Drag it up, drag it into the bedroom, stick
Dead
it on,
prostitute falls off it.
put a sheet on it and that. Suzanne comes in. She goes, "What is that smell?"
Oh.
So I said, "What?" She said, "It's like oil and diesel."
But hold on, why didn't you smell it?
No, it doesn't make sense.
I think I just sort of got used to, maybe because I got in the back of the van, smelt that, thought that's in the van, then I got used to that smell.
Yeah.
It's in the back of my car, folded up. I'm concentrating on trying to get this bed made before she gets in.
Sure.
Plus, he used to wear a blindfold instead of sunglasses in those days.
So anyway, she's going, "What is it?" I said, "I've got this off Alf." She said, "We can't have that." She said, "It's a new flat, nice clean flat and everything. We've got this old thing that stinks. Get rid of it." It was murder getting rid of that. And I had to tip it. I went round the back of some supermarket and left it there because you call
Fly
around.
tipping. Illegal fly tipping.
Well, no, because I think it's illegal and bad when you're chucking it out, say at a bus stop or somewhere on a high street or something, and people are going, "That looks a mess." I chucked it near the bins at a supermarket. I'd gone out of my way. I thought, where is this not going to be offensive?
Why couldn't you just go down the tip?
I think I did try the tip. Oh no, there was a massive queue. There was a massive queue.
Laziness, Rick.
A queue at the tip?
A massive queue.
Where
I remember
was
it
this?
now.
Oh, it was laziness then.
Stretford, that was.
Why
I
is there
remember.
a queue for the tip?
Don't know. I remember, I remember driving past it thinking I haven't got time for that. And that's...
So don't go on about you couldn't get rid of it. It's because you couldn't be asked to queue up, you lazy bastard. Couldn't get rid of it.
But what was he thinking? Why was he panicking? One, why did he get a bed without a mattress? Two, why does he call his dad to get him out of mattress-related problems? His dad goes to Alf. Alf's got one in the back of a dirty old fucking van. Oh, wait, that should be alright. That's an example of the quality of drivel you might be able to hear if you purchase the upcoming audiobook, The Ricky Gervais Guide to the Earth. Possibly the final one. Well, goodbye. From me, Ricky Gervais, Stephen Merchant.
Bye.
And a good friend and colleague.
And don't forget the...
What?
No, I was just going to say the shape of the head.
Oh, the little round-headed twat that is Karl Pilkington, you must mean, Stephen.
That's correct.
All right.